So, hello guys, how are we all? This is our Build a Routemaster show. Now we are going to build issue 53. Obviously, there's nothing to build, but we will go through that. However, let me first of all introduce my co-host, Horlicks.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How is everyone this evening?
So, just as importantly, how are you, Horlicks?
Not too bad. I'm ill still. My cold I've had for 4 or 5 weeks has turned into tonsillitis now. So I've got massive golf balls in the back of my throat with big white spots on.
Oh, lovely.
Not very nice. So yeah, um, yeah.
Good. So, hopefully, someone who is a little bit better is our good friend Fleetwood J.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So we had to get Fleetwood J on because, if you all remember last week, we did the light on the Routemaster, but many people were disappointed that it did nothing. It was just a light. So Fleetwood J has modified his so that we have an LED light, and he has very kindly come onto the show to help us. So do you want to just jump into it, or do you want me to show the? You sent me a document. You shared it with a Facebook group as well. Do you want me to go through the document first, or do you just
Yeah,
want
you
to
can do, yeah.
just go for it? Okay, right. So this is where I've got to do clever things. So screen share, and right. So bear with me, guys. I'm not as good with Microsoft Word as I thought I was. So what? Ah, there we go. Right. So Fleetwood J's Guide to Lamp Installation. And I thought this was really, really well done because there's loads of information here. So we start off, we're going to need wire cutters, soldering iron, a 3mm LED bulb. Now, I'm assuming you used a white bulb?
Yeah, it is, yeah, sorry, yes.
No, it's fine. Would that be a warm white or a cool white?
Mine was just white. It just said white, so
Right. So it probably doesn't make any difference then.
no.
Right, so we've got 40 centimeters of twin cable 1.44. I used the cable I had left over from the previous issue. So that's basically two pieces of cable, I assume.
Yeah, it's your standard cable. I had a spare cable from one of the switches because I broke one of mine, so I just used the length of the cable that went from one end of the
Right.
bus to the other.
So again, whatever you've got.
Yeah,
Brilliant. So then obviously electrical tape to hold things down, heat shrink. I love heat shrink, and an emery file. So that's right. So nice pictures we've got as well. So we're going to get an emery file and gently file the top of the LED, not too much as you will damage the bulb. Do several test fits until you're comfortable with it. So I'm going to assume that what you mean by doing several test fits is just file a little bit off the top, have a little test, file a little bit more, have a little test.
yeah. If you take too much off in the first place, you're going to ruin the bulb, and then it's a waste of a bulb. Just slow, steady, and little, just take off a bit of a time until you feel happy with it. Yes,
Right.
it will bow the panel out very slightly, but it's just the way Hachette haven't given us enough room really to, put a bulb in the first
Right.
place.
Okay. So then we are going to get a 3mm LED and your cable making a note. The longer LED is the positive.
Longer LED than it should have been.
I also know, and I can thank Love Minis for this. I know a little trick. And I'm going to get a bulb and I'm going to show you. So let me just. My camera controlling is very poor today. Now, I've been having problems with cameras today, so this may not work. Oh, it does work. Right. Okay, this is a trick I learned. I'm not going to get this into focus. Right. So, obviously, like you said, the longer LED is the positive. And you can see there that one. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to have to get the fixed focus in. So, basically, you've got Oh dear, I think you just made my cough better, worse, Horlicks.
Hmm.
So you can see there's one LED is longer than the other. Let me just get this camera sorted out. I do apologise. Let's have a really close in focus. Right, so that's too close. Right. There we go. So we've got one LED is longer than the other, but here's a little trick I also know, which doesn't work on this bulb. Okay, let's switch back to my old bulbs then. Right. So maybe they don't have them on the bigger bulbs. Why is that? Okay, my plan is ruined. Right. There should be, and there isn't, there should be a notch. There we are. I think that was it. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. I knew there was one. Let me just check on here. Yeah, right. Okay. So if you look, excuse me, if you look from the top,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see there's a little flat edge.
Hmm.
And I can't find it now. There it is. That flat edge is always on the negative. You see it there? Let's see if I can show it better with a coloured bulb. There we go. You've got the flat edge there.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel it better than you can see it. So if some idiot came along and they've already been working on these LEDs previously, you can see there now we don't know which one is which. So, oops, just had a bit of a collapse. So we don't know which is positive and which is negative. So we can feel that flat edge. That flat edge is negative. So we plug that in and hopefully this should work first time. And it doesn't. Because I've plugged it in the wrong port. There we go. So straight in there first time.
Yeah, I didn't know that till now.
There you
I've got
go.
my LED.
So,
I've got my warm white LEDs out for other projects. I'm just having a look at them, and yeah, I've got a flat edge.
you should have a flat edge on your negative. It's just, if you've got, maybe I've used that for a different project and I've soldered it and whatever. You see there, I've deliberately. I mean, obviously, if you've got a brand new bulb, you should have
Yeah.
one on the other. But if you see there, you've got two little notches there, so that might be a good point where perhaps I've used this on a circuit board and I've cut them both the same length. So how do you know? I'm pretty sure that if you're a real expert, if you look, you see in there that there's two different shapes inside. And
Yeah, I think the larger one is always the negative as well inside. So I think the smaller part it's the cathode and diode, isn't it? I always forget which side it is, but the bigger one is normally. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, but if you were like bigclive.com, you just go, yep, that's negative, that's positive, but I'm really not that clever. I'm pretty much, I had to brush up on the notch, but I'm still at that's the size of the leg stage. So yeah, that's if that helps. So we have now got to try and get this screen save share back on. I'm really bad with controls. And there we go. So again, yeah, we'll go with the positively because most of you are going to be buying brand new bulbs. So we solder the leads to the LED, make a note which wire is positive. Once soldered on, cover with heat shrink. I personally use different color heat shrinks, one for positive and one for negative. But obviously, you can use sticky labels or anything like that. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're going to bend the legs to 90 degrees As you can see there, I mean, we've had a couple of, I think the headlights, they were bent to 90 degrees, weren't they? So pretty much the same thing. So now I can't scroll down. There we go. So we test fit. And I think that's the most important word in any instructions is test fit. So we've already, I mean, we've been test fitting, but we're test fitting again. I don't think you can ever test fit enough. When you're happy, place in place with the electrical tape. In fact, I'll let you take over from here, Fleetwood, because it's your little project and you can probably describe it.
You're doing a better job than me here. Yeah. So basically, what you need to do is get part 52, remove the area highlighted, which is like a dish shape. That dish shape holds the lens in if you haven't got a bulb in place. Use a scalpel to cut it away, but be careful not to damage the panel. Once removed, use an emery board to smooth the area out so it's nice and smooth.
Right. So again, we're going to go really nice and gentle like we did with the LED. Yeah.
Just slow and steady.
Right.
As you can see.
And that's what it should look like, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're not worried about making a mess too much because this back piece is going to be covered with another panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, stage 9. 5 even.
Yeah. I just covered the back panel because I found when I first test fit it, even though I put electrical tape on the LED on the front panel, I found I had a bit of light bleed in the back coming into the saloon. So I just put a bit of extra black electrical tape to stop the light bleed. That's basically, yeah, it was an extra precaution, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And I suppose also more tape would hold it in better, won't it?
Yeah.
Right, so stage 6 is pretty much follow the magazine instructions.
Yeah.
Right, so explain this slight distortion.
Right, hang on. I'll see if I can show it on mine. Hang on.
Okay.
Going for a little walk. I don't know if you can pick it up, but if you look between the window and there's a very, very slight little bow. Right. Where it's not quite.
Oh, yes, yeah. Ever so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very minimal. You know what I mean? So, and it doesn't cause any bowing down the side panel either. So, it's quite a neat fit, but very tight.
Okay. It looks to me like you'd only really notice it if you're looking for it.
Yeah. And I think once the side panels, the metal side panels are on, the bonnet's on and everything else, I think it will hide itself. You know, it's not like a massive bow, you know what I mean? It's,
no. No, that looks fine to me. I'd be happy with that. Right, okay, so stage 7. Basically,
run the pull the cable. I've run my cable out by the I think it's where the differential housing or the gearbox housing is. I popped mine out.
And I can see that from this little piece there.
Yeah,
I would use that as a reference point.
And I've just run the cable down the back of the bus now, and well, since I've done that photograph, I've actually painted me under the side of the bus black and used a bit of electrical tape to hold the cable in now, so you can't actually see the cable. Hang on, excuse me. I'll put it out like that. So that's the cable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you can't actually see the cable at all. And the cable I've got now, that is just the cable that I've got, because obviously this week I'm at my girlfriend's, so I haven't got my whole bus, my whole diorama with me this week. So I've just disconnected this for the moment, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so this is the bit I think I know what you're saying here, but I just want you to describe it just to make sure.
Basically, what I done was with the cables, I just carefully took the top layer of the main wiring loom, just very carefully just nipped it so I can see the exposed cable underneath, and then I just carefully twisted it and soldered the two wires together, so like a butt joint, basically, you know. So
you pretty much split a wire from 1 into 2.
Yeah,
right.
And
this is going to come on with your headlights.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
I've tested all 5 work at once now. So I know Horlicks was saying to me, he said about should I put a resistor in, but none of the other lights have got a resistor. So hopefully the board should be strong enough to take.
I think the
Yeah.
board will have resistors where applicable. But what you're going to do, if anything, by putting a 5th light in, is it 5 you've now got in?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
You're actually going to make them all a little bit dimmer, because obviously there's more lights to power. I think, but it's not going to draw more power. It's just going to distribute less to each LED.
Which I don't mind because mine are quite bright when they're
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? So it'll even itself out once it's done.
Yeah. But what I mean is I don't think you're going to need a resistor by putting more. I mean, if you put enough LEDs in, you don't actually need a resistor at all, do you?
No.
If you do it correctly. Right, okay, and
just keep basically testing. That's the main thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can test too much.
No.
So, and that's some lovely pictures of your bus and diorama. So this is my own method of doing it, but you may find an easier way to attach the LED cable to the main loom. I am a novice. Oh, that's a big lie. You're not a novice. You're awesome, really, aren't you?
I am a novice.
And this is the first time in doing this, so please be gentle with me. And if I've done something wrong, or you have about, that's fair enough. You know, you've put. I mean, that's what impresses me. You've put an idea out there, and from that idea, we can improve on it or change it, adapt it to our own needs.
That's it.
And I just love the way that people are going out and doing bits and bobs. I mean, there are people out there that do mods for various builds, but you know, we're going, what the heck? Let's make our own.
It's just to finish the Routemaster off. I mean, it seems a bit weird that Hachette have left this one light out when they've lit the rest. You know, just
yeah. That's why I look. I mean, as I had a discussion with Penny, I mean, I was going to leave it all standard, but looking at it, I just couldn't leave it. I'm going to be doing that mod. I have to. I can't.
Yeah, I think I'm going to as well. I mean, I've always said that this red one I'm doing straight out the magazine, but I think I've got to do that. I think it's just, it may not add extra, but it will stop it from taking away, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It sort of drives me a bit loopy, you know. I kept looking at it going, I can't leave this. You know?
Yeah. But it's like if you had your hair cut and the back's not very good.
Yeah.
You know, you can't see it, but you know it's good.
Yeah.
And then if you show anybody, you're always going to try and attract away from the light, whereas the light should be a focal point. It's something that works. So, right, do you want to do a quick catch up on the chat before we completely lose? I think we nearly lost it last week, didn't we? So big shout out to Izzy Harris, because I know sometimes Izzy Harris has to disappear early because it's really, really late where Izzy Harris is. Love Minis is saying hi. Little bit of a side message. Love Minis, I've been to WH Smith's. I've chased them up about the Warhammer that you've asked for, and we're looking good to get them in, but no promises. But I keep reminding her. David Trapp is saying hi, everyone. Kevin Pratchett, hi, what's going down? Ian Bedson, hello all. David Simpson, hi to you all. Ian Bedson, looking forward to seeing what the Bismarck build is like. So am I. I'll talk more about the Bismarck later on, but it does look good. Verwain says hello all. Roger Kendall says good evening. It's mostly hellos at the moment, and hope everyone is fine. So we've got Dave Mill. Always love to see Dave Mill. Steve Graham, Steve Leake, Roger Kendall, love minis. Dave say, hope you're all okay. Have you had a good week? Have you had a good week, Dave? Because I know you've not had the best weeks ever, have you, recently? It's about time you had a good week. Kevin Peachy says, greetings, Earthlings. Hope you are all well. So Caldecott bus spots. Hi Penny, me and my brother got on one of your buses today. Did you get on my bus? If you did, why did you not say hello? I was in a right crabby mood today. Yeah, I just had a bad day today. Oh, and I got turned down for my promotion yesterday, but I don't have a problem with it because a couple of the guys that have been put forward to their interview, I think they're stronger candidates than me, but I've got me eyes set on something else now anyway. Right, so David Trapp says, hope you get better soon. We've got a hi Fleetwood from Dave Mill. Hi, everybody. Thank you, David. No, that was you, Horlicks, said that. So, yeah, Fleetwood, everyone loves to see you, Fleetwood. So... right, thank you very much for your advice on the bulbs. Last week, Horlicks, I got some. Oh, yeah, Dave says thank you for the advice on the bulbs. So Dave says experiment. Now, if I remember rightly, the bulbs come in packs of so many, so it doesn't actually matter if you destroyed one accidentally.
No. I bought a pack of 10 because I originally changed my headlights and my fog lights, because when I originally done all my bulbs with the Hachette ones, one side was very yellow and the other side was like a wishy-washy white, and it just looked awful. So I cut all the LEDs. Now all mine match, as you can see in the last photograph on the Word document there, that that all mine now match because they all came from the same batch. So yeah, I mean, if you've got a pack of 10 and you destroy one, it's not too bad, but
yeah, you've still got another 9
to go.
Yeah, just don't destroy them 10 times.
No.
Dan Simpson's asking me when we're starting the second bus, and by coincidence we were talking about that just before the stream started, and I think I'm going to be starting that. We're probably within the next 5 to 10 weeks. I just need to go out and buy a couple of gallons of nail polish remover, but I think I'm just about ready to start that. Chris Campling saying buses to no promotion. Now it's actually pretty cool because things change a lot. You know, and I think I was ready for it when I applied in December, and now that it's got to February, I'm like, I'm not really sure. But I'll tell you a little funny story. One of the guys that applied for it, he's actually received 2 final written warnings since he's applied for the supervisor's job. So we weren't totally shocked when he opened his letter up and said, we're ever so sorry, you were unsuccessful this time, but please try again later. And he said to me he's considering leaving. And I said to him, because obviously, you know, I'm a shop steward, so I do disciplines and stuff. And I said, I'll really, really miss you. I said, because I get loads of paid time off work because of you, with all your disciplinaries. So, Caldecott, you're on the X74. Was that the one you put up the video for? Because I quite enjoyed that. But if I may, this is just a personal bugbear of mine. If you're taking a video on a mobile, I much prefer it sideways because you get this horrible black bit. It's only a personal thing, but they all leave that Newport. I did that job as well. Do you know, I think Newport has got more ex-supervisors who are drivers than any company I've ever seen. It's a job I'd like to have a stab at, but it's, you know, to be honest with you, I found a route and I never thought about it because I got told the only way you'll get onto that rotor is to die, is for someone to die. And someone has left without dying, I will say. And now there's a space and nobody wants it, but it just really works well for my lifestyle. So I'm applying for that. Hello, Lucas1945. How are you? Right. So is everybody happy with that? Are you happy with that, Fleetwood?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
And are you happy, Horlicks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So let's open something first, because at the end of the day, this is Routemaster show. So brace yourselves, get ready for this issue 53. So we have not scanned the magazines in because I've still got that on fixed focus, haven't I? Oh,
I do have them, but there's nothing really to show.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously what's coming next week.
But as you can see, like, I genuinely don't know what's in the packet.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive build today. To be honest with you, I will be honest. You thought I was going to say bad things about it last week, and I said no. I said I'm not, because we're not getting like one figure a week. That would bore the crap out of me. But looking at last week, I'm now going to start looking at all of these magazines. As we're going to compare this week with last week, so last week was quite a good build. So I think looking at this and last week's builds, I think that's not a bad 2 weeks. And
No.
looking at next week's build, I think that's possibly going to be a better build than last week. So the average of this and next week is pretty good. But in all fairness, this figure is a little bit nicer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I'm looking at details like the creases in the dress, and that works really well for me. And I really like it. The only criticism I can make is I really don't like the white on the top of the purse. So I personally might be going over that with a little bit of gold paint. But other than that, and her pupils are a little bit big, but it's okay. I do actually like it for a figure. Not quite so much as this. I don't know. I don't know. Which is your favourite figure, guys? I can't remember what we've called these. So, Kevin, how many figures do we get? I seem to have in my mind either 6 or 8 figures in total. We've got a driver and a conductor. And obviously we've got these 2 figures. I'm pretty sure I've seen a figure 8 somewhere.
I think we're getting 8 passengers, a driver and a conductress.
Right, so it's going to be
That's
10
in
then.
total.
Do you think that there might also be a male conductor for all those sexist bigots out there?
No idea.
That was more of a joke than that. Yeah, do you know what? He might look a bit. Yeah, he's a bit stockier, I think.
She does look a bit leggy.
Yeah, but I think she comes out of a 60s or 70s sitcom, doesn't she? Everyone's all sexy and lovely. There were no ugly women back then, was there?
Yeah.
Or so the TV would have us assume. But yeah, no, I'm all right with this actually. I do know a story of someone who they got their subscription issues and they saw this and they rang Hachette up and said, "I'm really not happy with this. It's supposed to be a build." And he shouted and shouted and shouted, and they've refunded him the cost of 1 issue. So, but yeah, I'm all right with it. I'm not putting figures in one of my buses. So I might repaint her dress because obviously I'll have 2 of these figures, one for the newsagents and one with the subscription. So I might just repaint her dress just to make her look a bit different. But yeah, I'm not against this figure, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I'm not enjoying it as much as the engine, but I'm not going to say anything bad about it. So there we are. Passengers in a swinging 60s outfit. This passenger is young and fashionable. The simple shift dress with its striking motif, the skinny silhouette and the short cropped hair emulate the biggest name in fashion at the time, Twiggy. So she is designed to be walking along the lower deck in search of the best seat on the bus. When you are ready to fix her in place, use a little double-sided tape to hold her hand and feet in position. So there we go. Nice and simple. That's the whole instructions. So I suppose you want to see what's coming next week, don't you?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, so I'll do my best here. So have you got the image?
I do.
Should we do it the proper way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do things the proper. Yeah, I like Purdy. I think we should name all our passengers after the Avengers.
Well, I've named the guy that's sitting on my bench the Mr. Steed, and my silver one or my grey one is Gambit, Mr. Gambit.
Yeah. We'll have to see who can come up with the best names. Right, so this is a picture of next week, and the text says the rear wall between the passenger compartment and the platform is supplied and fitted with handrails, bell pushers, and a used ticket box. And call me odd if you want, but the bit that excites me the most is that used ticket bin.
Does look cool.
Yeah, because
Right.
I wonder if we get like your Lego build. I wonder if we get some used tickets to stick in it.
Well, it's funny you say that because in another Facebook group that I'm in, someone did actually post some tickets, and I'm pretty sure with a Facebook group the size of the Routemaster build that there will be other people who've got tickets. So um, I'll probably just copy. I'll steal this image and I'll reduce the images. I've still got to do all these posters, by the way. So I was going to copy these posters and reduce them down to what is it, something 8% or something. But yeah, I mean, get these tickets, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be too difficult to find an old used London ticket on the internet somewhere. Someone must have. There must be a collector of bus tickets or something. We can just get some pictures or something. So
They'll be very tiny, though, aren't they?
yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's someone quite happy. Yeah, there you go, Peter Whitlock. You're pretty easy enough to print tickets. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we can find them, and then I can reduce them down, or someone else can. And what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste them onto an A4 sheet, and someone can just sit there and cut them all out, and then maybe throw them all in the bus, and it'll look just like my school bus after I pick the kids up.
Yeah, all over the floor, up the seats, stuck
you know
to the
what?
windows with chewing gum.
I reckon the best thing about the 70s is Red Bull wasn't invented.
Ooh.
Oh, I hate Red Bull. I hate the stink of it.
Yeah, I don't. I used to drink it, and now didn't drink a lot, but I can't stand the smell of it now.
I don't. Yeah. Sorry, Chris. Chris keeps trying to thank me for coming on a stream earlier. Chris built the Terminator on stream about an hour ago. Really good build. So obviously I'm building it on this stream, but I would urge you to watch Chris's build. And oh god, probably the best part worker in the whole world, and I've forgotten his name. World of Wayne. Yeah, there you go. Have a look at World of Wayne as well. So between the three of us, I mean, the purpose of my building tonight, I'm gonna ask Horlicks and Fleetwood J. I'm gonna ask them their opinion of the build, both of the opinion of a build, as in should you guys get it, and also their own opinion. Would they get it? Are they getting it? Do they want to get it? Based on the build tonight, I think that would be quite interesting. So, shall we do the builds?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so first comment wins. Which one shall we do first? Shall we do the Bismarck, which came last week, or shall we do the Terminator first, which came this week?
Bismarck.
I think Bismarck. Right, okay, Bismarck it is. And I've actually been quite looking forward to this. It's a shame that I will not be continuing it. I just think it's a long build, it's a long commitment, and it's not got so much personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, somebody. Personal. That'll do.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I can't think of the word. Basically, there's no ties to me. I've got no family who served in the German Navy. I've got no interest in German warships. All this would be to me would just be a great build. So all I would have for it is just enthusiasm. Whereas the bus, obviously, me being a bus driver, there's the interest there. I do the Millennium Falcon. I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan, and I was around when the Star Wars films came out. I've got the Harley Davidson, and I love my bikes. I'm a biker myself. I'm a biker without a bike at the moment. Connections, there we go.
Yeah, me too. Biker without a bike.
Biker without a bike, yeah. Right, so that's only because of lack of money. And the fact that I live 10 minutes from work. Right, so I'll go through the parts. We have got a forward section of the upper deck. Now, this is plastic, but that doesn't deter from the quality. The quality is absolutely amazing. I don't know how well you can see that detail. I think this has been stained almost like a wash, and then there's like detail in the middle there. You would think it's wood, but it is actually plastic. I'd love to know how they got that, because that is absolutely amazing. So I'm really happy with that. 101. Let me get my tweezers out if I can find them. Bum, bum, bum. It looks like sometimes I have a million pairs of tweezers, and other times they all go. So let me use my pointy sticks instead. So 102 is a warping winch base plate. And again, this is plastic, but it's really good plastic. It's not cheap old muck.
Small parts, aren't they?
Yeah, 103 is 2 capstan drums. 10, they're plastic again. 104 is a capstan head, which I think is this piece. I thought I lost it for a moment. So be careful. These parts are absolutely tiny.
Cool.
Then we have a capstan head lower part. I hope we're doing something with these smaller bits, because I wouldn't like to store these for weeks on end. There we go. 106 is the 2 housings, which is this one here. And 107 is the bow section of the hull. Now this is metal. Oh, you can see that's metal, can't you? And lastly, we have 108, 6 bollards. Which are these ones there. 109, a small hatch. And we have a large hatch, which is larger than the small hatch. So, sorry. Right. So it's telling you the parts that you need. So you need the cutting mat. Sorry, my light is just a little bit too strong there. So cutting mat, which I've got. Always use a cutting mat anyway. So, yeah, Love Minis is saying blow it up. So, yeah, a craft knife, which I always have my craft knife to hand. And yes, Love Minis, I've got a brand new blade in there. Well, it's a couple of days old. Super glue, my super glue of choice is Gorilla Glue Gel. I like it because it's a little bit more solid. It doesn't run away everywhere, but obviously it just says super glue. Small screwdriver. Have we got a small screwdriver? Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Tweezers. They may turn up at some point. You know me with my desk, don't you? Things do turn up and then they disappear. And oh, here we go. Here we go. I've got my basing tweezers, so hopefully they'll work. Toothpicks. I actually haven't used toothpicks for a long time. I've started using matches, and the reason I like matches is because they're bigger, but can be. There we go. You know, you can just twist them, and then you've effectively got a toothpick there, haven't you? So that's my weapon of choice. And sandpaper. I've got a selection of files. So let's begin. Now, I do like the instruction layout. It just seems similar to the Routemasters, but it seems different. I wonder how many errors there's going to be. We shall see. So, cut open the package carefully to avoid damaging any parts. If you use a craft knife, always take care. Well, obviously, I did that beforehand, so we can check the parts. Remove the plastic parts from the frame by carefully cutting them through the sprues that connect them. I personally am not going to cut the parts off until the instructions ask for them. It then says, take the small parts, do not fly off. Take care the small parts do not fly off when cutting them through the sprues that connect them. We'll go through that when we cut them off. I'll tell you little things that I do. May not be the best way, may not be the official way. It's the way I do it and it works for me. And yeah, always use super glue sparingly. Not sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not sort of trying to talk down to people. Sparingly means use as little as you can get away with. You can always apply more glue. Very, very hard to take it away if you've put too much on. So, first thing we're going to do is assemble the warping winch. So the parts we need for this are, let's use the top. We'll see. We'll work on this as much as we can. That'll give us a slight advantage. We've got little recesses in here. So we have part 102 and we have these two parts there, which is 103. So now, the way I'm going to take these up, I'm going to have to put my light on now because it's a little bit dark for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the part, and I don't know if you can see where the part actually ends. I'm just going to come in just ever so slightly below it and then cut it off. And I'm just going to get my file, and then I'm going to file back to meet where it should be. That way I know I've not cut too much off. And if you're not 100% sure, cut the sprue off. So now you see we've been left with way too much there, but now I can give it a little bit of a closer look. Don't be tempted to bend this off because you could pull a little bit too much off. I suspect in this case we'd get away with it because a good model should be attached by the sprue to at a piece where you probably won't see it. So the next thing we're going to do then is stage 2, glue the two caps and drums 103 to the base plate. So what we will do is we will place those in there to make sure they fit. And they actually go in quite tight. So I think what I'm going to do in this case, I'm just going to pop a little glue in just from the bottom. Because as you can see, they're in quite tight on there. We would possibly get away with not gluing those, and we might get away with that. So I'll just pop. Oops, looks like I've glued my lid on. If you do use this Gorilla Glue, give it a good shake beforehand. Let's put the glue in there.
Yeah, I got the same one in Tesco the other week. It was on offer.
What was that? The glue.
The
Oh, yeah,
glue.
you said your glue, yeah.
Right, please excuse me for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to get some water.
Yeah, no problems. Right, that glue. Do you see how little glue I used? I can't get that bit out now. So I'm happy with that. So stage 3, we now need those 2 tiny parts that scare me actually. So I'm definitely going to use my tweezers. As you can see, I'm dropping the pieces. But this is the advantage of using dishes. If you do drop something into a dish, you've always got a chance that it won't jump out of the dish. Right, so there doesn't appear to be a right and a wrong way round for this small piece. So I'm just going to pop that straight in and test fit it. And that again is a tight fit. So I'm going to use the same method to glue it. So I'll just pop a little bit of glue on there. And then I'll glue that from the bottom. If you're a bit worried about gluing your fingers together, hold them with tweezers. Personally, if I don't come away from a super glue project without glue all over my fingers, there's been something gone wrong. Okay, and we are up to step 2, stage 1. So we need to apply a little bit of super glue to the underneath side of the warping winch. So having a little look ahead of the instructions, I can see that it's going to go onto the hull, and it looks like it's going to go into there, and I'm going to test it both ways, and it seems to want to go that way better. That might be because of that's the way no, actually it goes any way round. Right, and it's asking us to glue that, so I think I'm going to go again. I'm going to glue the underside, because I think you can see that this bit is going to be covered up eventually. And that doesn't want to go in, so maybe I've not quite used enough glue. Remember I say you can always use more, but you can't take it away if it goes wrong. It could be that I just haven't shaken the glue up properly. Give that a few seconds. Ah, that's nice. There you go. What do you think so far? So you can see just with those 2 little points there, that is in really strong. I'm pretty sure if I yanked it hard enough, I could remove it. But obviously these are stand models, aren't they? Right, so I'm going to show you the next one. This is what we're going to end up with. We want 106. We need to glue the 2 housings into the 2 rectangular openings a little bit further astern on the upper deck. So that's going to go this way. So astern obviously means going backwards. So this is where that is, and it's going to go. You can see here you've got these dots there, which is lines up with this bit. So they're going to go this way. So that is going to be this part. So again, when we're clipping, hold on to the part, clip. I'm actually going to clip both of them on one side, then I can turn around, hold the part. Note there's a little stem on it. There you go. It's not going to fly away because it's in my hand. There is nothing worse than having a really delicate part go flying 400 miles away. And then we'll just give that a little touch with a file. Apologies if you can't see. I suspect that that's probably the same way you were filing your LEDs, Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Just one little stroke at a time.
Slow and steady.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we'll give those a test fit. That looks like the magazine to me. As does not that. Might actually need my tweezers for this. Obviously, if you've got big hands, this is going to be a little bit harder to do. No. Wonder why I'm having trouble with one but not the other. There we go, that's gone in fine. So I can see the opening, so I'm going to glue these from the bottom as well. Hello, Matthew Borum, how are you? What I'm also going to do, I'm just going to cut this matchstick so it's more of a point. Just make it a little bit easier to use the glue. So that you can just see where they go through there. So what I'll do is I'll just jam a little bit of glue in there. And a little bit in there. So you can see that it is a little bit messier doing it this way on the side that you won't see. But if I made it a bit messier on there, you would see it. And that's in. That's not quite in. So again, you can always add a little bit more. Or maybe just leave it a little bit longer. I might just put a big dollop in and it hasn't quite dried yet. But I usually find about 4 or 5 seconds of holding it and it'll go in solid. Yeah, that's a little bit loose. Okay. That's better. So that's in solid. Okay, so the next stage is the first 2 bollards firmly into opening in the large circular openings of the starboard brackets right edge of the upper deck. So obviously we've now got the parts we've already done to use as reference. So they're going to go into there. So we'll find those parts. So again, clip 2 of them. They look like they're all the same, so it's not going to make a difference which ones you clip. And then we'll just give them a very gentle file. If needed, might not need it. You can use a knife to cut these off, but as you can imagine, using a set of clippers would make the job so much easier. There we go. I'm happy with that. So test fit. Oh, doesn't want to go in. Ah, there we go. There's a bit of a firm push required. And that one's gone in easy. So I'm going to glue these from the underside as well. They're stuck in. Yeah, Chris, I do like the glues that come with a brush, but I just really like this glue. I just love it. First time I used it, I just like, wow, that's brilliant. Okay, so as I had a feeling, we're now going to be putting the next two bollards on the other side. So exactly the same as the last part. We cut two off. Oh, nearly lost that piece. Right, so give a little file if needed. I need just a little bit. So guys, I'm a little bit too close to the camera there. So test fit. I'm noticing the front one needs pushing in, whereas the rear one is a little bit loose. I noticed that on that one. So actually, I think that glue's still alright to use from last time. I don't know if you noticed on the last one, but I'm actually touching the bottom in 3 different places. And then any excess, we'll just spread it around a bit. Oh, and that's gone instantly hard. Right. So yeah, I'm trying to do all my gluing underneath because it's obvious that this bit's going to be covered up. And that way I think that's giving a really good finish. They actually look like I've placed them in there and they're not stuck in, but they are stuck in, obviously. Oh, do you know what, Dave? I totally forgot. I'm really, really sorry. I will get them sorted out. Revel modeling glue, is that the glue for plastic? Because I use some good plastic glue, but I don't know if it'll work on this. They've told us to use super glue. Right. So the next stage is we've got 2 more bollards in the middle, which look like they're going to go on that one there. And then there'll be a hatch going there, which is the large hatch and small hatch. And it says, note the 2 hatches have hinges on one side. These should be towards the bow of the deck. And basically what it's doing is the hinges are pointing that way towards the front of the ship. So I'll cut all 4 parts off so we can just crack straight in with it. So one of the little, forget what we're calling them now, bollards. Final 2 bollards. Large hatch. Now this hatch isn't going to open by the looks of it. Yeah, it does say glue, so they're not going to open. Okay, so we are dealing with small parts here. So I've just lost that part. I don't know if you saw, but that just flew out my hand. if I had a tidy desk, I'd see where it went. Oh no, we have a disaster. I was filing it, it just flew in that direction. It was like the file grabbed it too much. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. We're gonna go with one bollard.
Oh no.
Oh no, yes. It'll be, oh god. It's
Search and rescue.
yeah. I'm gonna pretend it's here. I mean it'll be well, I mean so it doesn't matter because I'm not planning on doing this, but wow. So is there a lesson to be learnt there? Keep your desk tidy. Right. So once you Horlicks is nothing, aren't you?
Oh yeah, is that it?
Where?
Yeah, Chris Camlin just said, is it in front of you? Is it just on the plastic there? Up?
No, this is the second bollard.
No,
Or the first.
no, on the actual plastic tray where you've put this matchstick. There, yeah.
Oh, that's the this is the hatch.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, not the hatch. It's whatever we made at the beginning. Okay, so okay, that's on fine. So large hatch, hinges to the front of the ship. Oh, that's a really nice fit. And small hatch, hinges to the front. And again, that's a really nice fit. So I probably should have put these on one at a time, but I have no idea if those hinges are. And that's it. That's the whole issue done, apart from the bollard that's flung off somewhere. So, guys, your thoughts?
Looks pretty good.
Let's have a look at the one part that we haven't used. So we have the front bit of the ship, the hulley bit. I assume that's going to go in there. Yeah, that's a really nice fit in there, actually. And then we've got this pit, which is going to go somewhere. So, I mean, obviously, right. So, Horlicks, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks very, very detailed.
Yeah, you know, we're still looking at the part for next week, don't you?
Pardon?
You know, on yours, you know, your screen is still the part for next week's Routemasters.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Hello. Yeah. No, it's yeah, no, yeah. It looks very detailed. It looks very fiddly. And yeah, I think like you just showed everyone, if you're not careful or you get it caught with a file, it will fly off, won't it? And the thing is, it could be anyone's guess where it ends up. But no, I think it definitely looks good. I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea.
Right.
Not because there's anything wrong with it, but I'm not overly into ships, although, you know, it would be nice to have, but obviously the length of the final build as well.
Oh, it's at 1.25 meters.
Something, it's huge. And I'd have to have a whole room in this house just to keep it. Like, yeah, it's just too big.
So, would you buy it, and would you recommend it for someone else?
I would certainly. Yeah, I think it's a very nice quality build by what I can see. So yeah,
But like you said, not your cup of tea.
yeah, I'd certainly, I certainly would buy it if I had space. And I would recommend anyone else who are into sort of ships and things, definitely by looking at what you've just done.
Right.
I think it's a really nice build, and it looked like a quick issue, but it took a fair amount of time to glue all those pieces in, didn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just got to
Again, it depends how careful you are. You know
Mm.
me. I try to be careful. Despite being careful, I still manage to lose a piece.
Yeah, you'll find it anyway. You'll probably come across
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's somewhere on my desk. Someone has just said about issue 53. That is issue 53, and it's actually nice. It's nicer in the flesh than I thought it was going to be. So, actually, not really moaning about it. So, Fleetwood J, what do you think of the ship?
It's really nice detail. I mean, it's going to be motorized, so it's going to have sounds, I think, and lights and that. It does look an amazing model, but nearly 4 foot long and maybe 2 foot high, I think it is 30 centimeters or maybe more higher. It's certainly a beast to put somewhere, but again, it's not my thing. But for somebody else, they will really like it. So I recommend it if you like boats and that type of thing. But for me, it's too fiddly, and I don't think I would have the patience to.
I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you two. I really enjoyed this. The amount of detail, it just looks absolutely amazing, and it's a little bit of a different build from Routemasters. I don't mean it's a different vehicle, but it's Routemasters is primarily a screwdriver build. I've said about the Millennium before. It's a bit of a screwdriver build with a little bit of, you can do a bit of weathering on it, and there's a little bit of gluing. All we've done on this one is glue. I'm kind of building it. What was going through my mind was it's like an Airfix kit, but I haven't got to paint the parts. So for me, that's quite appealing. However, the reason what lets it down, I mean, one thing I absolutely love, and I don't normally go on about the magazines, but if you are interested in this aspect of history, this is the non-instruction, this is the article part of the magazine. I know some people don't keep them, but you've got quite an interesting read there, and you've got 5-6 pages of good bit of history. Now, you've got 5-6 pages of really good reading material multiplied by 140 issues. You're nearly getting your money there just with the magazine.
Yeah.
I like to try and get hold of those without the build, but it's a no from me personally because of what else is out there. And also, I don't have Navy doesn't do anything. German naval ships. But if anybody said to me, I'm thinking about doing the Bismarck, I would say, based on this issue 1, yeah, you go for it. So, does everybody think that's really fair? That was something else I had an issue with. On the real ship, I do know there's a big controversy out there in the modelling world. There should be a great big swastika on the front. Now, for obvious reasons, a lot of people don't like that swastika on there. But the historian buffs are saying, well, it's got to be on there because it was on there in real life. I can see both sides of the argument, but I tend to sort of go with it should be on there.
It may come in a later issue.
It may well do. You don't want to upset. All those people that don't want the transfer, draw them in at issue 1, and then issue 104 is like, there you go, guys, there's a transfer. No, I don't know. Right. So,
I assume like there will be. I mean, obviously that first issue was primarily gluing, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
on the underside, there's screw holes and things, isn't there? So I think
yeah.
there probably will be quite a bit of screwing to do.
I,
Um,
I, my limited knowledge of part works tends to be that they try to show you the different materials that will be used. So you've got a hull that isn't being used, but it's like the Routemaster. We had that metal bonnet, and we didn't use it for many weeks, but they threw that in there so you could see what the material was going to be.
yeah,
And I think that's what they've done with the hull. Um, Pretty much everybody is saying um, just paint the swastika on. So yeah, it's not going to be a major problem. I'm pretty sure Fleetwood J, if he can do that wonderful diorama, I'm pretty sure he might be able to help me with, or not. So, would you all like to see the Terminator?
Yep.
yeah. Let's go for it.
And I've had not seen this until today. And it's funny actually because the woman in the shop, they obviously hate. I mean, how anyone can work in a newsagent and hate magazines, I don't know. So this is it. Obviously, they always go for the massive bit of cardboard. So I'll quickly run through it. I'm pretty sure anyone who's interested in the Terminator has probably seen all 4 million videos out there. Easy assembly. I think that's a matter of opinion, isn't it? This, I didn't know how good I didn't realize it was going to be this good. It looks like a lot of it lights up. Looking at these photos here. But that, I mean, I'm not going to go into that because this tends to be inside the magazine as well. So,
And the one thing, I don't want to put a downer on it, but the one thing to bear in mind is with these part works, that is obviously issue one. It's showing it all lit up and glorified. Look at the
yeah,
DeLorean. That was all lit up like a Christmas tree. And now
that's a good.
you
Yeah,
turn it on and half the lights are so dim you can't even see them.
I think I understand the problem now. I think the problem is because I've actually got some. I haven't got anything to reach, but I've got some. Oh, what do you call it? That tubing, fiber optic tubing,
Yeah.
and I now know that it only has a certain length. I think the fiber optic tubing I've got is 15 centimeters, meaning that if you cut that longer than 15 centimeters and you put a bulb each end, it's not going to reach all the way to the middle. And it looks like that's what they've done with the DeLorean, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got tubing that's just not really up to the job. Right, so I'll flick through these mags because obviously a lot of people have been showing them, and I'm a little bit uneasy about showing mags on camera just in case. So this is the brochure. Teeth. Now I've heard a comment about this. I quite like those teeth, but some people apparently have said they're quite plasticky. So I don't know. They look like
I hope they're plastic. I don't want
you
Manan's
don't want.
dentures in there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
False teeth.
I quite like. Yeah, but if they were bright white, I think that'd be wrong, wouldn't it? So I don't know.
Yeah.
So there you go. Premiered in 1984. So I was how old was I back then? Younger than I am now.
I was 11.
You must be a similar age to me then. Yeah, you're a little bit older than me. So I did love that film, and it was quite a scary film because it's like the Matrix, isn't it? It's a what if this could actually happen. If we give robots too much power, they could actually take over. So we have got almost 1 meter tall, and I wonder if that's a little bit less than. I made a comment earlier on. I wonder if this is a little bit less than 1:2 scale, but I'm not going to complain too much because it's not fully built yet.
Oh, a meter tall. I didn't know that. That is actually huge, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's 1:2 scale. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is what must be over 6 foot tall. So this must be over
Yeah.
3 tall. So it's made of high quality zinc alloy. Is that just a posh word for die cast? It's an alloy metal, basically, isn't it? ABS parts, which is plastic, and the bass plays the iconic Terminator theme tune. Da, da, da. How good is that? So we've got remote controlled jaw. I'm quite looking forward to the jaw actually. It's got luminous eyes. It's got moving articulations, so you can put it in different positions. We've got red and blue lights. So that bit I'm now keen on because of the DeLorean. That's the bit I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Are the lights going to be strong enough? So,
As I say, it might be absolutely fine.
yeah.
Probably will be because there isn't really. I don't think there's any fibre optics involved, is there? It's going to be just straight LEDs, I assume.
I don't know. I think. Oh, where's the thing gone? They look like strips, so they could be fibre. I don't know. Oh no, they could just be lights, LEDs. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So, and then it goes on about the magazine. So it goes on about the world of the original film, discover other science fiction films and icons that have marked history. Iron Man, learn, and I like anything that says learn in it because obviously we can learn something. And then obviously you've got the build instructions. So, oh, and right now the subscriber gifts. If you want to subscribe, I actually signed up for this when it was a test. I never received any issues, but typical Hachette, if they stop something, they then say, "Oh, thanks for subscribing. When it does come out, you'll get 3 free issues." So I am going to get 3 free issues, but I really wanted the police car that was going to come with it originally, which they're not doing anymore, but they're now going to be doing a plasma gun, which is this one here. I don't know how he's going to hold it. That will be interesting. If he can hold it. But, there we go. We get a free screwdriver set, which looks quite useful. If you have never done a part work before, you won't have 400 screwdrivers. Usually 3 or 4 of these are a bit naff, aren't they? Your free binder, and you get the keyring. Keyring's always going to be nice, isn't it? And then you'll get 1 free issue. So yeah, reasonable free gifts. Not awesome, but not bad really. So let's have a look at the mag. So actually, let's look at the Gump first. We get the usual subscription-y stuff. There's the free gifts. There's the free gifts again. They're really rubbing it in. Get this free. Get this free. So we have the origins. So the actual height is 1.88 meters. Titanium and tungsten hyperalloy clothed in a synthetic living skin. Power supply of nuclear core, and it has an operating lifespan of 120 years. And then, a very young Sarah Connor. She has aged a little bit, hasn't she? So now this I quite like. This is similar to the Millennium Falcon. You get a picture and then it highlights the areas that we're going to be working on. I have seen this built on YouTube a couple of times. So I do know what we're going to end up doing. It is going to be quite a simple build for issue 1. So they have a little bit of an expert tip. And yeah, that's it. So it's 4 pages of instructions, and then we've got a little bit of sciencey stuff at the back. So shall we crack on then?
Yes, go for it.
Right, so I'll do the careful checking of parts now with my super sharp knife, which is super sharp because it's got a brand new blade in it. I tried to cut something the other day and I was cutting it the wrong way, and the blade just snapped and went flying. That's why it's got a brand new blade in it. Right, there we go. I think the best way to do this, because of the way I've cut it, is to do it upside down. So, parts checklist. We have got part 1.1, chrome eye and nasal sockets. And that is actually quite heavy for what it is. Definitely a metal part, quite heavy. So now I'm starting to wonder, how heavy is this whole thing going to be?
Mm.
Because remember the Routemasters, the weight really crept up on us on that, didn't it?
Yeah.
So part 1, well, I'll just call them part 2. I think you stumbled on that great idea last week, didn't you? Just calling them A, B, C, D. So this is a matte black inner eye socket. And that's plastic. That's a nice solid bit of plastic, actually. But that's ABS, I think they said it was, wasn't it? So that should be tougher than my 3D printed parts.
Mm.
3 is a eye socket brace. Looks a little bit like a pair of dodgy glasses. And that's plastic. Chrome eye orbits, which is part 4. And these are plastic. Part 5 are, I'm just going to get the one out. On my Bismark part, I'm going to be very careful. So this is obviously an eye, isn't it? Sorry, I'm a little bit too high up there. Part 6 is the 2 LEDs, LED diodes for the eyes. And I think this is pretty standard partwork stuff, isn't it? Bulb, a little bit of heat shrink, and 2 wires and a connector on the end.
Yeah.
Part 7, a head connector component A, which is plastic, and that part there. And part 8 is no label on the back, sorry. This is 3 times PB2 times 4mm screw. So it's 4mm long. And it says you will also need a small cross point screwdriver, Phillips PH00 or similar. So we'll go with my 00. If it doesn't, we're not happy with it, we'll always change the end. So what I'll do is I will get these screws ready. I'm assuming we're going to need 2 screws because they've given us 3. And I would say that is the right screwdriver head. So, step 1, and this is the way the instructions are laid out. Slightly smaller print, I'm noticing, a little bit harder to read if your eyesight isn't brilliant. So they're asking us to carefully examine all the pieces that you've received. Make sure that the components you have with the magazine match the list of components. Wasn't ready for that, so obviously I've already done it. Step 2 is you won't need to assemble the chrome eye and nasal sockets, part 1, or the head connection component, part 7, which are these two parts. I don't know if you can see them okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can safely put those to one side. So make sure whenever you are storing the additional components is well organized so that you can keep track of the parts from week to week. So step 3, we require part 4, which are the ocular orbits, they're calling them. Just looking at the quality of those. One looks a little bit more shiny than the other. I don't know if it shows on the camera. Not sure that will matter. And the red eye caps. Okay. Push one of the red eye caps into one of the orbits, like so. They actually go in quite nice.
And they look quite easy to go in, but they're not budging, no?
No.
I did wonder that because it doesn't look like they get fixed in.
Right. My theory on this, there we go, is that it's a little bit narrower perhaps at the bottom. So you see this bit, that's going in and out quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
But then just give it a little bit of a push and then it locks in. It can be pushed out, as you can see.
Right.
But it's a little bit tight. So what I would do is just check these two just to make sure they're poking out roughly the same. So I would say that one's, there we go. So now I'm happy with that. So the only way they're coming out is to insert something into there and push them out.
Okay.
So I don't think those red bits are going anywhere. So step 4, do the same with, oh sorry, I've gone ahead, but step 4 is to do the same with the other eye cap and orbit. Step 5, find the 2 LED diodes. These are fragile elements, so take care as you gently insert each of the LEDs into its corresponding place in the back of the eye orbit. Align the black and red wires vertically as shown. And I'll show you the picture. So it looks like what they're doing is they're holding the 2 tabs down and then inserting them that way. Oh, that is a tight fit. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, so I'll do that again. Right, would I say the eye socket part 1 is as shiny as in the picture? Mine's not as shiny. Yeah, I'm not. They are shiny. But one looks slightly shinier than the other. I don't know if you can. Does it show on that picture?
Yeah. Yeah, the one on the left is shiny. The one on the right looks dull.
Yeah, this one is shiny on both sides. This one seems a little bit dull on one side. But they're going to be like this. And I don't think they're as bad. They're fine. Okay, so this LED, so we're holding it with the 2 prongs downwards, and the black wires one on top of the other. And the way I'm doing it is I'm holding the wires, and I'm going to push that in, and I'm going to push just the plastic part. If you want, you can get your fingernails and push either side. But actually, that's not a bad idea because by doing that, it then pushes that the red glass into the eye as well. So there we are. Do you think we should test these bulbs?
Can do, yeah. Oh, Soul means the actual faceplate.
Okay, the faceplate. That does look very shiny to me. I mean, I've been handling it. I would say, yeah, it's not quite the same color, but it's definitely shiny. So far, I'm really happy with it. Yeah, you can shine it up. I mean, obviously, this will be handled so many times before I finished it that it's gonna need some kind of polishing, isn't it? Right, let me just rig up a very simple. I am going to put a resistor in there because I don't know how strong that LED is, and by putting a resistor in, it may well mean that the bulb's going to be a lot dimmer than the finished model. That's not going to be a problem for me. So let's just rig up something. So there's my positive. I think it's going to go into there, which I cannot. Okay, this is going to be awkward to do. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Ugh. Oh, this is extremely difficult. All right.
Can you put it in from the other side of the plug? From the back of the plug.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where the wires come out, can you feed them up through the back end?
What do you mean into there?
Yeah, yeah. Can you get a grip on the connector from in there? Sometimes it's wider.
No.
No.
I think I'll grab it there. Right, let's turn that out. So, and this isn't the most spectacular way of doing it, but okay, my messages have just gone crazy, so it could well be that I've not hooked this up properly. Yeah, I haven't. It's the Arduino that's wrong. Right, so right. Oh, come on. Let's go in the bin because that obviously isn't working. Right. So 3 volt into the positive and a ground into the ground. And let's just check with an LED bulb that it does definitely work. Right. Okay.
Try 5 volts. You got the resistor in line still, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some LEDs are 3 point something volts, so the 3 might not have been enough.
Okay. Bend that.
No.
Okay, I've just checked 2 bulbs, so it's obviously set up, isn't it?
Oh, Damien says snap. Oh, it's vaping as well. Yeah, I shouldn't really with my tonsillitis, but oh well.
Let's plug that directly into the Uno.
The suspense. Well, let's have a drum roll.
Do you know what? Now. Okay, that setup works. Okay, so that setup definitely works. So my eyes are running out tonight. Okay, I've obviously not connected these up right then, have I? I'm assuming red wire is positive.
Yeah, it should be. Obviously, unless they've muddled them in the factory, which, I mean, I don't know if Hachette doing that, but I know the... Oh, there you go, yeah. I
It
know.
is actually around. Black is positive.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they did similar on the DeLorean and it was wrong.
You know what? I can't get this working. Okay. Well, it's obviously the way I've connected them because now I can't get the first one working again. There we go. Right, that one works. And that one works.
Is
So
that
they both work.
and the black is both the reds?
Yeah. Yeah. The black is the positive. And the... I will just do it again. So, black. Oh, there we go. I knew I could get that in like that. There we go.
Matthew Boring's just had a message from Mike Anderson.
Okay.
Oh, Stuart Sullivan. Hello, Penny Horlicks, gentlemen, ladies. Hello, how are you?
So the reason that's flashing is just that's not a really good connection there.
Hmm.
Right. Okay.
So that
So
might be something to keep an eye on then, because it's a bit odd how those. Yeah, because obviously red should be positive.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we know where they work. There's nothing worse than getting to issue 93 and we plug it all in and it doesn't work. Right. So stage 7. I'm going to put the light back on now because I like to be able to see. Now I've put the parts over there. Right. So I've seen this done. So I'm going to do it as I've seen it done. They want us to put these into there, but they're not going to go. So I'm not even going to put them in yet. I'm going to go straight into step 8, which is to put this part in because this is going to hold them in. Now, I did hear mention of a right and a wrong way, and there's only actually one way this is going to go in. So you see there that this part goes convex. meaning it comes out. It needs to go in the sloping downwards, which kind of makes sense because the face is, so it's going to go with the face.
Mm-hmm.
And these, right, we need it with the 2 prongs up. And I can see exactly how this is going to work. The front 2 prongs are going to sit in there, and that's going to act as a swivel. And then this 3rd prong there is obviously going to act as the control. So something's going to go over there.
Oh, I wonder if what will go. I mean, speculation. Sorry, but I'm wondering if that black part that you got in this issue, the long piece. I'm wondering if that is going to be the arm for it.
Oh yes, yes.
Because there's 3 holes in that. You've got one at the back, which looks like maybe a servo would connect to, and then 2 holes either side.
Right. So this is actually quite difficult to get in. So there we go. It does go in, but just make sure that those 2 posts, there's a little hole for it. Once they're in, I'm going to do a Horlicks here, and I'm going to check at every single stage. I say that almost tongue-in-cheek, but I'm actually quite serious. If you look at the way, especially Horlicks' last build on his Routemasters, the way he is meticulous with the details. See, that I'm not happy with. There we go. I'm actually not happy with this black arm because it doesn't seem to want to go in. It doesn't line up. There we go. Right, I don't know if you can see that now lines up. It makes a circle. So there we go. Oh, that looks awful, doesn't it? I am watching you. Okay, so
Silence.
right, so let's get a screw. I wonder if we could have got away with just screwing just enough to bite first. Would that have given us enough room? Obviously I'm holding this down. Oh, I don't like that screw head. Yeah, I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch to my favourite one, which is J1. It's not quite so deep, but it's a lot wider, and it kind of seems to grip better. And it's too big. So go on, laugh at me, everyone. That's better. Right, so I'm going to try the JO.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I like that better. I found the JOO, it's just slipping a little bit. So
No, I know what you mean. Sometimes the right one is not quite right, and then you get the next one. They say they're a bit wider, aren't they?
yeah. It's not as deep, but it's wider and it kind of grips it better. Obviously, if you have a preferred screwdriver, if your favorite screwdriver is the Routemaster one or the R2 one or the Harley, then you go with the one you want. There we go. So now those eyes have slipped. So I'm going to loosen that screw off. Can't even find the screw now. Screw thread. Oh, how bad is that? There we go. So, there we go. That's in. So I'll hold that down and finish screwing that off again. I didn't loosen both screws. I only loosened the one. Right. Okay, that was fiddlier than I thought it'd be. But that's in. And that's the stage complete. So shall we play speculation with this bit then?
Yeah, I reckon that must be the control
right,
arm.
because there's 2 holes there. So I think I think you are right, Horlicks. So it's either going to go in like that. There we are.
And then there'd be a servo on that other bit.
Yeah. Or we've got this upside down and it's going to go that way. See, this is why this is the best show in the world, because we've got Horlicks. Horlicks and his speculations. Look at that.
Oh, it does look funny, doesn't it?
It does.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on there. Yeah, it looks comedic now, doesn't it?
Mm.
And I'm going to do the bit that everybody's all done, which is I'm going to put that into there, because we know that's going to go in there. Oh, look, that's nice and easy. There's a big hole in the middle. Dun, dun, dun,
See, I was watching YouTube as well. I think it was Flame with a 4. He did it, and it looked like the eyes were too high.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
We had it upside down. Right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that piece on there, and I'm going to put this piece of metal in. Then I'm going to get a bit of masking tape. I don't care who you are, that's got to be harder to lose now.
Yeah.
So that is stage 1 complete. We have a spare screw, as we suspected. I actually really liked that. I did like that. I have subscribed to this and I intend to collect it. I liked, it was quite fiddly. There was like 2 screws out of all of that, so it's not a pure screw. I quite enjoyed testing. I like the comedic eyes. Obviously, they're not going to be comedic like that, you know. But it was almost Disney spooky like, wasn't it?
Mm.
The way the eyes moved. I like the little bit of speculation. So I personally, I'm going to say, I mean, let's say I've got three issues free. I am going to buy this to issue 6, and barring any major cock-ups, you know, the next 5 issues could be a load of crap. But assuming that they're of a similar quality to this, I'm going to say I'm going to collect this. So I will collect it and I would recommend it. Fleetwood, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a good model. Not my thing again, but it still looks amazing. Especially the height of it's going to be. It's going to be quite a beast to put around. You know, it'll certainly scare the crap out of you if you forget if it's sitting in the corner somewhere and it's lit up when you come around the corner, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
it'd be a good Halloween piece, wouldn't it? If you know what I mean? But yeah, I would recommend it. It looks a good model, and yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm doomed actually, because I mean I get scared if I wake up before the alarm, because I always think I've overslept. So I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. So what am I going to do if I wake up and I see this Terminator sitting there?
Mm.
So yeah, Fleetwood. So I'm guessing that's a you won't buy it for yourself, but you would recommend it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not for me, but you know, worth buying if you're into Terminator.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just holding out for something else instead at the moment.
Similar age to me, so it was your thing. You know, it was a film that came out when you were around. Not saying Horlicks is too young. So, Horlicks, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like it. I was umming and ahhing about the build. I was like, I saw it and I wasn't that excited, and then I was, then I wasn't. Then I subscribed for the free, for the trial, but obviously I never got it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I don't want to do it. But after seeing videos today, I sort of want to do it. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that high. That's amazing. But again, for me, I mean, yeah, I would subscribe right now, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
You subscribed before?
yeah, I did actually. I did get an email saying that I need to set up a direct debit because we haven't got any bank details for you. So I haven't done that yet. So I don't actually know whether I'm going to end up
Yeah,
with anything.
I tried yesterday. I wasn't able to. Yeah, the reason you get that is because they can't legally keep your bank details on file.
Yeah.
Uh, you've
So
got.
it's just saying about an invoice. So it's either going to go two ways. I won't get anything until I subscribe again, or I will get the issues, but then they're going to send me a bill and say, right, you need to pay this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I really, really like it.
yeah, I think
All,
I would get it. But it's all down to finances. I mean, I'm so
yeah,
close to finishing the DeLorean. It may
yeah.
be a case that I
Well,
start it a bit late, like the Routemasters.
right. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, it's finances as well. I mean, I'm doing more hours to earn more money to pay bills off, and the money that I'm going to be earning, I'm going to be using on partworks. So,
I mean, you
yeah.
could, I suppose, juggle them around a bit and pay for one month and one another, but I
Of
don't see
course,
the point in that.
Moss, I can pay like 3 months late or something like that. I think someone said. Anyway, let's have a quick look at issue 2. Did we have a look at issue 2 of the Bismarck? What parts are coming? I right now. I was gonna say one of the things I like about this is that this is all of the parts. I know it's got masking tape. Normally with part one, you get a bit of this and a bit of that, and eventually the parts will meet. This is all the parts come from the same area, but now they're going to give us a bit of the right arm, and then you've got the upper jaw and the teeth. So are we going to Are we going to go the same way every other part work goes, and it's going to have a bit over there and a bit there? Is that how
Yeah,
it's going to be? Do you think?
I reckon. Because, like, I'm not sure who it was that said, but if you get all of, say, the head, someone might stop at that because they might just want the head on display.
Right.
So I
So we're going
think
to begin. We're going to begin the head issue 1 and probably finish it round about issue
90
100.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. It's a bit like the R2D2, you started off with some of the main bits and then you didn't see it again for about 90 issues. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just speculation, but I think I mean, I would be tempted, like, if I wasn't going to get the Terminator, but I knew I'd have a Terminator head in 6 issues, I'd probably go and buy the six
By the
issues.
first 6 issues. Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course.
just
Yeah.
to have the head on the shelf. So I
Yeah.
think they're not going to obviously do that because people may do that, and they want people to do the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I think that's their sort of reason behind it.
But yeah, I mean, issue 1 is always a showcase. I mean, I kind of figured that you're going to get a metal bit, a plastic bit, and in this case, you got an LED.
Um,
We got the bonnet and we got some fancy bits.
yeah. The only thing I am slightly reserved about and a bit worried is the screw situation. Now they seem to be going down the same way as the R2D2 and the Falcon. They're sending screws in unlabeled bags.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, depending on later issues, all right, the magazine states what screw they are, but if all it takes is 2 screws to look similar, I think it could end in a lot of confusion with what screws to use.
Yes, I'm gonna just change my view on this. Obviously, I've not built the R2, but I've seen the situation with the R2, and obviously, I'm building the Millennium Falcon. My first thought based on that is that I'm going to get some kind of screw pot holder, and I'm actually going to label it PB2 times 4 mil.
Yeah.
That's going in there.
Yeah.
And I might even put a little note on it that says 1/8. So, because with the R2, didn't they supply you with like a big pack of screws, and then you use that in later issues?
Yeah, I think it was a bit like your Falcon, similar thing. You just get a
Yeah,
bag and then it'll say use this, that. So I
yeah,
mean, I suppose it is good, but this is obviously only issue one, and you've only had to use one type of screw. So
yes,
what one, it's not necessarily, maybe later on they are going to mix them in the same bag, and then two, it's not just that because obviously it tells us what screws they are, so we can put them away and label it PB, which is exactly what I would do. But
yes,
if we get two lots of different, you get an MB maybe and a PB screw, and they're both silver and similar. That's
yeah.
where it could get confusing.
Yeah, because with the Routemasters, we've had on occasion where we've had more than one kind of screw within
Yeah,
that one stage.
yeah. But no, I'm sure it'll be all right. It's just, we're managed. I suppose it's just a case of being extra careful if that's the case. But yeah, I don't know. That's the only sort of the downside to it. I think, not necessarily for me or yourself, but some people may struggle. And as a whole, I think
Yeah.
it could cause problems for some people.
So, is it fair to say take a little bit of time with the organising?
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. And then be
over
sure.
rather than under.
Yeah, and depending on how the screws go, I reckon, just be extra careful because you don't want to start thinking you've got the right screw and it might be slightly wider or longer, and then you'll start going at it about out of hell. You'll be screwing it and screwing it, and it'll either come out the other end or it'll split a hole.
Can you get like a permanent marker and just put on a bag? You know what I mean? For now,
Yeah,
temporary instance. Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
I'm actually wondering now. There you go. I've still got the bag. Obviously, I cut it with a knife, but I'm wondering if maybe what I should be doing is we'll pop that back in and I'll pop a little bit of masking tape over it and seal it and then write on the masking tape,
yeah,
and then I could put them in a small drawer or something.
Oh, so I've just seen Chris Camplin stop stroking my stick. It looks dodgy. It's
You
my
know
back.
what?
It's my back
I
scratcher.
read that stop smoking, so I put my cigarette in the ashtray, so now I can carry on smoking again. Yeah, so I guess what we're saying then is I mean, this is my second Hachette build with screws. And the Routemaster, they supply the screws for the issue. So theoretically, I could throw this screw in the bin and not worry. I'm just keeping it as a just in case. So I'm gonna push the boat out here and say we'll probably get the screws every week that we need, but it won't do you any harm to just pop them into a small drawer or something and keep them
no.
for later on.
Yeah.
At this particular stage, there doesn't seem to be any logic with the screws. We discovered quite early on with the Routemaster that you've got types A to Z, and then the second letter refers to what kind of material it's being screwed into. So
Yeah.
an AM is a type A that goes into metal, an AP goes into plastic. This
Obviously,
is
that was a
PB.
PB. So I was thinking maybe they've put like the plastic first, but it was screwed into the metal, didn't it?
Oh,
So,
it's screwed into plastic.
oh, did it?
Yeah.
So it must be the other way around then. So plastic B,
So it could be
perhaps.
plastic screw type B. So
But future issues will tell. I mean, it could be a case that they didn't label the bag this week because it was the only screw we had.
yeah, and it saves them because they're going to sell more copies of issue 1 than they will of issue 100 and How many have we figured out how many issues this is?
I thought I read it was 100. Did someone say 120? Or
I
was
actually
that the
don't.
Bismarck? No, because the Bismarck's 140, isn't it?
Yeah, the Bismarck's 140. Yes.
Yeah, I want to say 120.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it should say right at the beginning, shouldn't it? Especially after that thing with the Routemaster where it didn't say the total cost of the build. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, I know that's. I actually can't see. That's bad because I kind of stuck up for them on the Routemaster and said, well, they do tell you the cost of the total build in the sense that they tell you how many issues and how much it is per issue, but
Apparently, Sol says it's on the big card, Penny.
on the big card, but on the back or the front. Okay, go right in the corner in the small print. It says usual price £8.99, model complete, 120 issues. So there it is, just there. Okay, so yeah, 120 is kind of a number I was thinking of. Yeah, okay, fair. I'm happy with that then. So 120 issues it is. So yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it's always in small print, isn't it? Because if they can get you to miss it, they will. Someone might think, oh, looking at that, that'll be complete in 50 issues. And then once they get to 50, they're like, oh, well, I've got to continue because I've spent all this money.
I think the Routemaster would have been 120, but with the 10 figures, that makes it 130.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought figures were part of. Oh, I see. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot it's 130 issues. So
yeah, that's right. So yeah, probably the actual build's 120. That makes sense, and they've just whacked another 10 on for the.
The figures.
yeah, I'm just bulking it out a bit. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're making more money that way, but I think they should have maybe added the figurines as well as what parts you would have had that week, if you see what I mean. So if you had like issue 52, which we did last week, maybe chuck a figure with that, and then they still would have kept it at 120. But then I suppose it's not really. They might be at a loss.
I've just noticed something. We normally struggle to do one build in 2 hours, don't we? And here we are today. We've done 3 magazines. I know one was really short and a modification, all within 2 hours. How good are we?
It's bad, isn't it? Thing is, well, it depends on the issue, doesn't it? Because some of them are quite fiddly.
Yeah, some of them have been, but yeah, no, I'm really happy with tonight. I did like that. I'm happy with the Terminator. I'm going to collect that Terminator unless the next few issues. I'm going to reserve until the last 6. I'll go 5, 6 issues, and I'll see what it's like. I mean, it could just be that issue 1 is the only good issue out of all 120. So, but yeah, I'm happy with it. I like that Bismarck, but I'm not going to continue purely because I can't do everything.
No.
I can admit defeat on the money front. If I had the money, if I won the lottery, I probably would do it.
Yeah, same. I'd probably do everyone on the market.
Yeah, I really like the magazine. I think in 140 weeks, my knowledge on naval warfare and stuff will be so. I mean, look, I knew quite a bit about the bus. I don't know. I've just done my shirt up and then having to undo it, but my knowledge on buses was okay at issue 1. Now we're up to issue 53. My knowledge is infinitely more, and it's going to be even more. So I take in the articles on the magazines, So I'm looking forward to the Terminator magazines. Um, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Um, most of the comments have been not moaning, but Horlicks, stop stroking your thing, and but we all always do something dodgy on this stream, Chris, don't we? If it's not innuendos, it's stroking sticks.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I've just been. I've sent a message from Adrian saying read chat.
Yeah, I saw that. I was looking at the chat, and I think I might have completely missed it.
So engrossed with the builds and things.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's a good point earlier on. Dave Miller said mag photo will have light bouncing off it diffused by the photographer. Yeah, these photos have been taken in a professional photographic studio. It might have been photoshopped. It's got all special lighting. I've just got my basic LED hobby lamp and I'm actually down to one LED strip now because one's gone. So I've not got perfect lighting. So yeah, it's always going to look better on the photo.
I've just done a search on the chat window, and the only message I've got from Adrian is Heil.
Heil.
Heil near the beginning.
Is that as in German for hello or?
No, hi all.
Hi. Oh, Heil. Sorry. Okay. I'm sure Adrian will happily tell us off if we miss something.
Yeah, but if you maybe it didn't go through, please yeah, responds.
Well, Carol Webster's just asked you, Horlicks, where did you get the flooring for the bus?
Where did I get the flooring for the bus? Oh,
I'm assuming
for
means
the base. Well, this here is actually from this gentleman on stream.
There we are, guilty as
He said,
charged.
yeah, he had some, Fleetwood had some stuff left, and yeah, kindly sent me it through, and
Which I think sums up this hobby.
it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And do you know what? I spent, I think I did it Saturday because I was messaging Fleetwood actually, and
Yeah.
so I wasn't sure how to cut it or because I didn't want to just go and hack it with a knife, but it was actually really easy to cut.
Yeah.
And I did mess it up very slightly. I cut it slightly too short, but you can't even notice it, to be honest. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything else with it. I was thinking because I thought, I could do a white line on it, as in the road, but obviously that would look silly because then the bus would be taking up the whole road. But then I thought maybe I could add some on the outer edge, like some white lines. But no, I don't know. I'm still mulling it.
You could turn it into a Newport bus and put a double yellow line down there and then park the bus on there because everyone else parks double yellow lines on Newport.
Yeah, could do. But yeah, so yeah, I got that from I got the actual the material from Fleetwood. The base itself I got from someone else.
Yeah, we got that from a secret place. Mine's, I don't know if you can see mine, but I've got the same base. But I've left mine plain because I think its beauty is in its just wood. So I am going to be polishing. I can't remember. Someone said before what to use for. It's not beeswax, but some kind of wax. So I'm just going to protect my wood, and I'm just going to leave it as. I just think it's beautiful, simple. Not saying Horlicks has done wrong, but yeah, it's. I love that base. Lucas has asked, is there a difference between driving a single decker and a double decker? If anybody wants to chirp in and agree or disagree, by all means. I personally think a double decker is easier to drive, but basically a double decker is a single decker with a top deck. So it's still the same width and it's still the same length. It's just taller. But a lot of the buses we drive now, the single decks are long wheel based, whereas all the double deckers are short wheel based. So that's what makes them easy. You don't have to worry about the tail swing so much. And I'll let you into a little secret. A double decker doesn't hold that many more passengers than a long wheel based single deck. But that's my opinion. If anybody wants to disagree, some drivers hate driving double deckers, some don't mind. Um, I like our double deckers because the heating tends to work on them, whereas our single deckers, the heating doesn't seem to work so well. So I'm more of a, I like to be comfortable. I don't like to be driving in 15 layers of clothing. So double decker, all the layers of clothing can come off. Not all of the layers, obviously. Um, so yeah, I think double deckers are easier to drive. You've just got to watch out for the height, obviously. Whereas single deckers, you don't worry about them so much.
Yeah, the amount of times, because obviously, yeah, everyone dashes up the top to set up the front, and the amount of times I've had tree branches smash the window and all sorts.
Yeah,
Not actually smash them because they're
yeah,
not the ones I was on were like funny plastic windows at the front, but you see all the branches hitting the windows. And I used to actually get quite scared when I was younger because I used to love sitting up the top, but I used to sort of hold on really tight when you went around a bend because
yeah,
it felt like the whole bus was just going to fall over.
yeah, yeah. The funniest thing ever to happen to me was we just had some snow and the roads were icy, and I pulled up into this bus stop. It was a cambered road, and obviously where the ice had settled, it was slippery, and I stopped, and this whole bus just slid very slowly sideways, and then it just hit against the curb and it went bang, and I'm like, oh my god! But a lot of things, it's scary the first time. When I was learning to drive a bus, they took us up the M1 in the wind, and the first time you drive a double decker in the wind is scary as hell because this bus is trying to go over where you're trying to go straight. The bus is trying to go left or right because of the wind.
Mm.
Once you've driven it a few times, it's like anything. All those of you who drive cars, if you remember how scary it was the first couple of times you drove, you've probably now driven so many times you can't remember. A double decker or a bus is just amplifying all of that. So, but I like, I mean, it tends to be because it's heavier, it sticks to the road a bit better, it's slower, so you're not going to lose it on the corners. I don't know, I love bus driving. I just absolutely love it. I've always wanted to be a bus driver since I was 6 years old, when I met a really nice, friendly bus conductor. And I just love the job. So, I don't know. Um, this one I'm going to throw over to Fleetwood. What site would you recommend for the LEDs and wiring for bus?
I use eBay a lot, so have a look on eBay.
That's the standard answer. I actually like to do my LEDs from scratch now. Now that I've figured out, oh, how much fun have we had me doing the LEDs at Horlicks?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of
oh,
soldering.
I've now figured out a way to make an LED in about 3.5 minutes. It will eventually come up on my R2D2 videos, but this is an LED that I made. I'll have to change my. Right, this is a homemade LED, which I can now make in about 4 minutes. The only thing is my little sticker has fallen off it. As you see, I think that looks every bit as good as these ones. And the way I do it is I get, let's get a little bit of wire. I'm not going to do the full lot, but I get an LED. Banggood, there we go. I use Banggood a lot. The only disadvantage with Banggood is that they do take about 2-3 weeks to arrive. Right, so I haven't got all my prop equipment, so I'm just going to have to go with it. Right, so I take the LED, I put it into, I'll use this one actually, because this one's come loose and I can't, why can I not, there we go. Right, so pop an LED into Helping Hands, I think this is called. I've put shrink wrap on this just to make it a little bit softer, and then we'll open that up. The wire that I'm using, I'm going to use 2 different colors, one for negative, one for positive. And I haven't got it to hand, but I will strip the plastic off each end. Not like that. This isn't the right way to strip the plastic. This is very, very thin wire. Okay, that's not working. Right, there we go. Now, what I will do is I will strip about this much plastic off this end, but this end I'll strip a lot more. And then what I'll do is I will get there. So I'll just fix that on me. And then I will wrap this around the leg. And then I'll move that up a bit. And then I'll wrap the rest around. Like so. So that will hold on there. Then I'll just run a little bit of solder along there. And then I'll get I've got 1mm heat shrink tube, which I'll put onto this end. And I'll push that up there and I'll just heat it so it shrinks. And then obviously I'll do the same with the other side. And then because I personally am doing different colors and I use white, but I love these clear bulbs. There is actually 5 different colors there, but they're all white when they're off. I've got white, red, blue, green and yellow. So I personally will put a sticker onto those so that I can identify them. And this is what you will end up with. So obviously I've used green for the ground wire, but I've used black for the heat shrink, but it doesn't matter as long as they're different and you understand what they are. And this whole wire, I'm going to estimate the cost at about 2p, which is a lot cheaper than eBay, but you've got to do it. You know, I've got to get the the solder out and actually do it. So if you want to do it yourself, all of this comes from Banggood. The LEDs, the solder, the wires, the whole lot. And it's really not very, say, let's say 3p a wire, a bulb. And it's but it took quite a bit to figure that out, because what I was doing before was trying to hold this onto the end there and then get the solder. So I'm holding that and I'm holding that and I'm getting the soldering iron. And what was it take me about 45 minutes to do each one, Horlicks?
Yeah.
And try not to burn your fingers with a soldering iron at the same time.
Oh,
No, it's on my wish list for one of those handy helping hand things, because I need one for some bits I've done, and yeah, they're just really handy. I just never.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a helping hand. You could get a block of wood and a 3 and a 5mm drill and just drill lots of holes and then plug them in. That would work equally well. But what attachment do I put on the other end? How do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh, for the LED.
What do you use to plug it in? I think he was trying to say.
Oh, well, the other end, this end here, will have 2 contact wires. Oh, you can't see it. It's got 2 contact wires, which these particular ones, these are for my logic lights on the R2D2. So these are going to get soldered into a circuit board. But you could put a connection on the end. I've got some connectors. See if I've got the right drawer. There we go. I haven't got my 2 plug. Or is that it? Right. Okay. This is a 3 plug connector, but don't know if I've got that the right way around. Sorry guys, I wasn't ready to get these out. There we go. Right. So right. So these are connectors. This is a 3-pin one, but it comes with a load of I'll change the camera. So on the other end, I can put a wire into, there we go. Put the wire into there and then crimp it. And then you push that wire into there to make a connector that will go into there.
Yeah, I got that kit, but I didn't have anything to crimp that with. Is there a special tool to do them?
I think there is.
Because I was trying to do it with a pair of pliers and it just went completely wrong.
Does it not work? I've not actually used these yet.
No, it didn't work very well because it's almost like you need the proper tool to do it square.
Right.
Otherwise, you bend them over and then it creases the metal and then it just doesn't go in the plug. And I had all sorts of trouble with mine.
Okay, you ended up swearing it and throwing it across the room.
Yeah, it was when I was modding my the Vector, my old 3D printer, my partwork one, and I put the new extruder on, and I had to make some wiring up for it, and yeah, I was swearing at it. So yeah, I recommend trying to find the proper tool for it.
Okay.
But I don't know what it's called.
A pin crimper.
Yeah, terminal crimper or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the sound of that. That's got to work, isn't it? Terminal crimper. Or you could do what I've just done and just push it in.
Yeah, but if you try and do it with a wire attached, the wire will just fall out.
Good point.
Because I think there's 2 parts to the crimp, or 3. You've got one that holds the plastic sheathing, then you've got another bit further down which actually holds the wire.
Oh, hang on, that's... Yeah, okay. So basically what I'm saying here is I bought some equipment here that I have no idea how to use it. Because that doesn't...
The wider yeah, obviously the wider end goes in first, but you have to crimp that before it'll fit.
Oh, and I've just dropped a bit now. That's 2 bits I've dropped today. Because that wire, that bit goes in, and that's going to go in the top. So that wants to go in the bottom. That's not going to go in. Oh, I don't know. That's right. That's going. I'm going back in the box before I get angry with it. So, right, here we go. Adrian Langley has given us a link. So let's.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I wouldn't know how to use one. I wouldn't know what setting to use it on, but yeah, that's what you need, really.
Right. So if anyone clicks on that link, that is the crimping tool. But anyway, so basically, I mean, these parts are cheap enough on eBay anyway. If you're not technically minded, just go on eBay and buy them.
Yeah, I gave a link to Dave Say last week. There is actually, I think you could buy 10, can't you, in a bundle that are
If
already
you, I
pre-wired.
mean, yeah, the R2D2 that I'm doing, I'm going to need something like 240 LEDs. So I'm actually going to save a hell of a lot of money by doing it myself. But if you only want one or two, just go on eBay because it's
I think I bought 10 for about £1.89.
yeah. See, 10 for £1.89, that's fine. That's 20p a bulb. But if you're going to buy 240 of them, that's getting into a lot of money, isn't it? So, but the way that I say I'm going to be soldering these bulbs. They're going to be soldered into a PCB printed circuit board. So that's going to be a piece of doddle. But as I say, you know, if you're going to start putting, if you want to make bulbs like this, if you want one or two, buy them. If you want 1,000, you're going to have to learn how to make them. So, but as you can see, look, that tool and 10 LEDs and the wires, it's actually going to, how much did you say 10 bulbs were?
£1.89 it cost me.
Yeah. Well, that crimping tool is £11. So I wouldn't buy that crimping tool just to make 10 LEDs because 10 LEDs is going to cost me about £11.40. So, right. Okay. So, yeah, I cannot think. Yeah. Dan Simpson says soldering is easy. Yes and no. Soldering is, my opinion of it, I could solder. I can put solder between two wires. Doing it well took a lot more practice. Would you agree with that, Horlicks?
Yeah, definitely. I've struggled before.
Yeah.
And it can be quite difficult to get if you've never done it before, I think it could be quite difficult. But once you've had a bit of a practice, then I think it does get easier.
Yeah. Attaching two pieces of wire with a melted bit of metal, yeah, that's easy. But I mean, once I got to, I mean, I'm still not brilliant. But once I got to the point where my solders are starting to look like nice little bubbles, then obviously yeah, but it's practice. It didn't work, but I bought a solder kit, and it's like a 30-second countdown, and it's got like 60 LEDs and resistors and diodes and all sorts of things on there. I think there's something like 200 solder points. So by the time you finish it, your soldering has definitely improved because you've done that much soldering, and it's definitely the way to go if you've excuse me, I've got hiccups now. It's definitely the way to go if you've not soldering. But yeah, soldering's easy, but I think you just need a little bit of practice. So everyone's starting to disappear because dogs are getting impatient because dogs don't care about part work builds, do they?
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything else, and we've now managed to stretch this show out again. Not that it's not worth doing. So soldering pen. I've never thought of a soldering pen before. Right, so I'm gonna end.
Sorry, I've got a gas soldering iron. That's what I use rather than a soldering iron itself. You know what I mean? One that uses lighter. Yeah. It's a lot easier to use.
I had that before when I was doing repairs on a motorbike, and it's so much easier because obviously you haven't got to trail wires and things about. But
yeah, do you know what? I've got one of those, and it's got its pros and cons. It's very good because you've got no wires attached and you can just whiz it around.
Yeah.
But there's a hole where you ignite the flame. And if you have that the wrong way around when you're trying to solder, you'll do what I did and set something alight that's underneath it.
Okay.
So when I was trying to solder a piece of some wire in or something, I ended up catching the whole wire alight because obviously the intense heat coming through where the flame was just set the thing alight.
This is obviously a story that we need to investigate another day because it just seems too good to let go.
Yeah, I mean, it was user error, totally. It was my user error, but yeah, I prefer
I've
the
done a similar thing, Horlicks, so I can join the club. I found if you're going to get a gas soldering iron, you have to get quite an expensive one rather than the cheaper ones, because I find the cheap ones, they are just a nightmare to use. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I currently got a Draper one at the moment. You know, it cost me nearly 20 quid, but touch wood, you know, it's been okay. If you know what I mean.
Mine was a Maplin one, I think, when it was about,
Hmm.
I think it was about 15, 20 quid, but you know, it was nice quality and it worked well, but it was just, you had to be really careful with it. I think more so than electric, but it was handy, you know, not having to be stuck to a socket somewhere.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm going to end the show now if everyone doesn't
Yep.
mind.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I need to get some food and have a rest.
yeah, I'm
I
going to
need a
let
brew.
we all need a brew, don't we? So thank you for coming on the show, Fleetwood. It's
No
always
worries.
lovely to see you. Can we ask you to come back again one day?
Yep. I will when I'm back home in Fleetwood. When I have got my diorama and my bus back together, I'll pop back on.
Brilliant. Okay, then. Take care, then, Fleetwood.
Take care.
Goodbye from Horlicks.
Yeah, see you later, everyone. Have a good week and see you all next week.
Okay, and I will see you next week as well, then. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.